And we're back, ready to make a new video. So behind me, I've got my B5 2.7 V6 S4 2000. I've owned this car for either 2 or 3 years now. I think we're coming up to 3. And ever since I bought the car, the passenger side turbo's been leaking. Dealt with it for time. It's kept the subframe nice and coated, stopping it from rusting and rotting. It's time that I want this car roadworthy. Ran out of MOT at the start of this year. Chose not to re-tax and insure it and everything, because there was no point, because I just went driving it and having it much fun in it. Let's quickly go over and let's talk about what I'm going to be doing to it. It's a B5 S4, so it's a V6, 2.7 litre, twin turbo, and like I say, the passenger side turbo is leaking like mad. Just have to keep topping up the oil. It's alright, but you can hear it now, and it was down on power, and I just thought it was doing it no justice. This car does rubbish miles to the gallon, something like £85 will fill the tank for a 50 litre tank, I think it is, and it does about, round town driving from my house to here, does about 150 miles to 180 miles. Not the best, could be the map on it too. Obviously I want to get it mapped with the new turbos, because we've got hybrid K04's to go in it. We'll go over all the parts that I've got. Got RS4 clutch, injectors. We should be around 500 brake horsepower. So my plans are for this is to build some tubular manifolds to replace the stock rubbish cast manifolds which are down here. You can't do anything on this car without taking the engine out. Turbos are bolted right back there. Yeah, right pain in the arse to work on. So if you want to take anything out, it's a full engine out job, but it does need a bit of TLC. Frame rail has got a bit of surface rust down here, which I'm going to treat and repair. To make this car worth its value and what it's actually worth, I need to do this to it. If I was to sell it in this state, someone would probably be like, oh, I'll give you $5 grand, $4.5 grand. And it's just not worth that, you know. For me personally, it's not worth making a loss. I think I paid $9 grand for this car way in COVID prices, so I'm not in a rush to sell it because I don't want to lose out on that much money. So put the turbos on it. I'm going to build in a front mount intercooler for it from scratch with a custom core. Going to build tubular manifolds, which I'll be selling for these, and you will be able to purchase them from me because I'll be jigging them up. Going to be making 3-inch downpipes to a full 3.5-inch single exhaust because they run dual on this. So I'm going to get rid of the dual exhaust, 3.5-inch all the way through to a nice back box, get it sounding mint. We'll do a quick sound clip before I start taking it apart so you can hear what it sounds like inside. And then once we've got all the exhaust and all the good bits made up, we can hear what it sounds like, and hopefully it's going to sound 10 times better. Going to look at remaking these Y pipes as well and doing these for sale. Anything that I can think of that I feel like the B5 platform needs here in the UK, because obviously there's a lot of people still doing stuff for these in the US, but there isn't a lot in the UK. So kind of want to become a little bit of a parts plug for these downpipes, 3-inch downpipes, the manifolds, because it helps with exhaust temperatures, loads, brings the EGTs right down, getting rid of those cast manifolds, and then yeah, do like the delete the ICM, probably get rid of the evap system and whatever else. Anything I can delete and simplify, it's going to happen. The coolant bottle reservoir on this, it's cracked. I know it's only low pressure, but yeah, I want to maybe make some up in aluminium and get something nice situated in there. Also a part that I can sell, because I'm sure there's a lot of people that are dealing with brittle plastic on a 24-year-old car, 25-year-old car, depending when it was built. This S4 was built in the 2000s, so it's a facelift. Doesn't have the split in the headlights, that's a clear sign. Getting a bit of surface rust in the wheel arch here, so the car definitely needs painting. The full car is going to have a full repaint at some point soon. Make some nice new tips and go over it completely, get it mapped. 500 brake. We've got the Brembo 18Zs on the front. So that's where I'm up to with the car and how it currently stands, and my reasoning behind taking it apart, clean it up, get it looking mint, get the engine bay fresh, and yeah, make this worth its money. I'm going to do a couple of sound clips before I rip the engine out, and then let's start ripping this out quick time. So that's what it sounds like. Sounds alright. It's too quiet for a V6, especially an S4. it's not doing it any justice whatsoever. So I'm not going to cover too much on this. There's loads of decent videos of how to take the engine out of an S4, very detailed ones. And whatever your skill set is, just take your time and try not to break stuff. They're old. Always check. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to rip the front bumper off, and then we're going to drain the coolant. You'll see this from the videos online. Get rid of the scuttle panel. These lines run to your battery and the alternator and stuff, so you have to remove the terminals off the battery, pull them through the bulkhead. Just unclip everything from the bulkhead, drain the fluid out your power steering, take the low pressure line off. I'm gonna take the Y pipe off, and then just undo everything from the front slam panel on the front of it. Pull the slam panel off, take off the drive shafts, undo the prop shaft, unbolt your exhaust, and these grills just pull out. Just gotta be gentle with them. Front end, hold on with barely anything. The sides come off alright. You missed that, but it just jumped itself off. Yeah, terrible. That was hard work, man. No need to be that hard work. So now let's start just ripping some bits off. I'll be back with some more progress. It's the Y pipe uninstalled, don't need that. I'll go over what I've done. This section of harness was attached to this and the bottom rail here. Sorry, it's windy, well loud. Anyway, bottom rail, that goes with the engine. Got to pull the positive terminal through the bulkhead there, and that just ends up sitting on top of the engine, which is here, which comes with it. Just throw it all on top. I think I'm nearly there with this. I've been underneath and done the prop shaft bolts, undone them, drive shaft bolts are undone. And then I have made a mess of the floor and everywhere else. Rad pack and everything's gone. And then I've just got to take that top engine harness line coming from the ECU and then throw that in the engine bay. Just undo this low pressure out the power steering there. And then I think the engine should move out. So we'll see in a second. That's everything off now. Got the crane in. Let's see if it comes out. I think everything's undone. I've got one engine mount that's being a right pain though. I'm probably covered in dirt, filthy. But what you've just seen there is me and my friend Lee ripped the S4's engine out, left the drive chassis in like an idiot. Managed to get it out, it's made a right mess, there's everything everywhere. Need to give this a good clean up. Obviously, I'm going to be getting rid of the stock manifolds. This is the main reason that I'm doing this. Getting rid of the stock manifolds, getting rid of the K03's, putting the K04's on, and giving an overall clean, because look at the state of this thing. It's just never been cleaned in its life. Might do something with the rocker covers, put new gaskets on them and stuff. This is the side that's been leaking. Some questionable plugs as well that want addressing. Here we go, like Oh, looks like I've had. Ah. Okay, so I've got a valve cover gasket leak, which is got a nice little puddle there. So valve covers defo want some new gaskets. I can't remember if I ordered some, I think I might have done. I'm just gonna try and delete anything I can get off here, because wow, just what a mess they are. Look at it, look at the state of that. Like, is that really necessary? Maybe take the inlet off the top. I've got a vapor blaster to give that a good clean. Yeah, I'm just gonna tidy this up to the inch of its life. So I'll carry on with this tomorrow. Roll it outside, give everything a good clean, and then we can go over. I'll get some stills of what it all looks like, because this thing's a mess. Let's quickly go over what it looks like. Look at the state of that. So that's what these look like before. The other side was worse. And this is after. Brakes need a refurb again, I think. Left them for too long. Look at the state of in there. Just need to get these repowder coated, I think, to tidy them up. What a difference that's made. Who knew this was so silver underneath? Had this section here before, absolutely caked in grime. Subframe was covered in oil and grease. The arch liners have come out like they look mint. This is the rail that was letting it down, so I'll just have to neutralise this, clean it all up, throw some more paint on, get some more seam sealer on there. Even all these bits, all the plastics and that, come up great. Made sure that I got all the lines and all the wires all cleaned, degreased, tidied up. Even the brackets and stuff. Washer bottle. Horn's looking a bit sorry for himself. Just gonna get some. Need something a bit tougher to get that little spot under there. The arch liners came up mint in the previous clip. So you can actually see silver down there now. I've never touched his engine before, but I don't know if you can see what the lighting's saying. That's not a good sign, is it? So the gearbox bolt has backed itself out. So this is how grim the gearbox is before. It's absolutely covered in crap. I've just put a plug in here with an old bolt just to stop any water getting in. There's one underneath there for the lines for the gearbox. Caked in degreaser, absolutely cakey in and stuff. So the last couple of clips have been on my iPhone because I left my SD card at home. This was absolutely caked and untouchable. It had that much grease and grime all over it. Might hit it with some paint, might not. Nice little before of all the... This is all sprayed down with the greaser as well. See what it looks like once it's all done. Can't promise anything, I'm going to rip all this off today, but try and get the most off it before I start taking a lot of stuff off. Ugh. So I'm hoping, and I think I should be able to delete this PCV system and then run a catch can for this. Anything else that I can delete whilst I've got the engine out to make my life easier, yeah, let me know. Like I say, making manifolds for these. This is why I didn't want to start making the manifolds, because I knew they passed the head very tightly. So I just wanted to make sure I was coming round. I know I've got room here to come round, but I knew the standard ones were that close. Don't know what the other side's saying. Yeah, a lot more room on this side. And I started with this side, but then I thought, hold on a minute. Let's make sure what you're actually making is going to fit. I'm going to start by taking off this turbo. Reason being, I've got everything to make this side. I used the flange that I was using for the other side as the jig for this side. I've got the EGT out, and then I need to get all these lines free. So I'm going to end up removing more bits. Harness is off because it was just a mess on the top. I don't know how many of these plugs are the same, because most VAG stuff like the TT, generally they are different. They're looking like a lot of 2 pins, and they're looking like they're the same plug. So plugging this thing back in, obviously once you've got your harness in place, there's only certain plugs that can go to a certain place because you've only got the right amount of line. But equally, there are a lot of, you know, the same looking plugs in the same place. So hopefully it goes back together and I can get it running and driving again. So yeah, let's start taking off like this PCV system. I'll get the tripod set up and then get this disconnected, get the lines, the coolant and the oil feed taken off, and then we can take that manifold off. Also put it on the top. I'm hoping it's already dirty anyway. That's just broken, that's good. A little bit for me. Wow. Well, so much for saving any of that. Yeah. Yeah, look at the state of that. Yeah, it's gonna need a good clean in there. Look at all that. I don't know how. Let me zoom in. Look how badly this has chewed this. You can see the indentation that it's done of that Jubilee. That should come out. Should come off. Just been struggling with this. The battery's dying on my. And I was like, I've not missed a bolt, and this is in my way, so I was like looking, and I was like, nah, it's fine, skipping past it. I've left a nut on here. Thinking, why is it not coming off? I'm tapping it with a mallet and everything. Oh, come on. Yes. Just from here, you can see the size difference. That's the K04. Tiny little outlet on that. Still not the biggest on a K04, but quite a noticeable difference. Now you see why these make more power. Slightly bigger turbine. K04's, supposed to be a hybrid by Turbo Technics, which I have a receipt for. And then they're my old K03's tiny little units. I'm going to end the first part of this video here. This is the first part of the teardown and digging into it. Next, we're going to a bit more cleanup. I don't want this episode going on for too long. Off camera, I'm going to rip off the other turbo, and then we'll dive into taking the valve covers off. We'll get them cleaned up, we'll get them painted, dig into the car more. So this is part number 1 of me digging into the S4. So yeah, this car's 24 years old. let's return it to its former glory and have some fun in it and make it fast. 500 brake, that's what I'm after. It's the magic number with one of these. You can get a bit more out of the standard internals, but let's not push it. So yeah, nice little 500 brake, daily, anti-lag, launching, yeah, mint. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Let me know if you've got a B5, tag your mates that have got stuff. Wouldn't mind a bit of knowledge off some people, telling me some deletes and whatever I want to do. Gonna run a catch can because the spider valve's all cracked, which they do on these because they get really old and brittle. Loads of bits that I want to get rid of, like the M429, and just delete that. Tidy up the engine bay, make it really nice. Anything that you can suggest or anything you want to see, I'm going to be covering everything on this as well. Manifolds, downpipes, and all this stuff I'm going to be jigging as well. So they will be for sale through Lost in Fab. And they will be on a website very soon. So if you like what you see, make sure you tune back in, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.